Hi everyone. So we're very close to the DHS transition, the go live for November 9th. So I want to start kind of giving you these little tip sheets that are like going over the EPIC documentation that would be required. So one thing I want to talk about is a major area that we always had on our brain here is the hourly rounding, and then also like any of the repositioning turning documentation. So normally it would have populated here in our brain, but with the deaconess transition, that is not going to be a task any longer. So we're going to go ahead and show you where you need to be documenting that. So you click into the patient, and I'm going to go ahead and make my screen a little bigger just so you guys can see. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to the flow sheets. So in your flow sheets, we're going to talk about first the hourly rounding. So when you first get into your flow sheets, it's going to populate right away to the vital signs. Now this hourly rounding here, I'm not sure if that's going to exist in the real EPIC world with Deaconess, but I know for a fact that the patient rounding documentation is in the vital signs. So when you go ahead and add a column, you're going to scroll down real time to where you're at, and you're going to see this patient observation area, and then you're also going to see this intentional rounding area. So we know for a fact that we are going to have nurses document hourly rounding on the even hours, and then our techs are going to document on the odd hours. So when we're documenting, so let's say we're the nurse and we're going to go ahead and document, we're only going to be documenting the patient observation section. The PCTs, the CNAs, they're only going to be documenting the intentional rounding section. So this will be for nurses, this will be for the PCTs. So when you're documenting this as a nurse, patient observation. So this one's a free text. So you're going to type, say they're in bed. And then you're also going to do the rounding. And when you hit completed, that says as a nurse that you reviewed the 6Ps. So completed that. You also completed your invasive line check. It's recommended that, we're checking our lines as often as possible. And going through that. And then we have the repositioned area here. So you can say they're on their left side, or you can say they're supine semifallars, or you can always write a comment if they're walking in their room or walking in the hallway. And then obviously we can say whether or not they have their bed alarm on or if it's not indicated. So their bed alarm's on. So then another hour goes by and our tech goes in. Our techs can review the 6Ps, and that's all they need to review for their rounding. So that says, hey, they're in pain. Yes, we're going to notify the nurse. We checked if they needed anything to drink. We offered to go to the bathroom. We straightened their room and straightened their bedside table. And then their pump, let's just say they didn't have a pump. That's where that documentation would be at for those CNAs. So, like I said, once again, that documentation is going to be under the vital signs flow sheet, and that is pretty self-explanatory. So then let's talk about turns and repositioning a little bit more. So yes, we have it here in this section with rounding, but let's just say we need to get a little bit more detailed, or we're documenting turns every 2 hours. You're going to go to your flow sheets, and then you're going to go to the daily care flow sheet. You're going to scroll down to mobility interventions, and you can see that it already populated that they were on their left side. But if we wanted to document a little bit more about position changes, we can say current activity, they're in bed, ambulation assist, what kind of assist are they? Are they needing assistance, less than 75% need assist needed? What kind of assistant device they use? Did you use a gait belt when you transferred them? Is their head of bed elevated? Is their heel, is there anything elevated, like their arm, their legs, and that kind of things? And then their feet, are their heel protectors on? Are they elevating both their feet? Foot of bed elevated, that kind of stuff. And then any range of motion that you want to document, that's all in that section. So mobility interventions, so we go to the daily care flow sheets, mobility interventions, and that's where we can document our repositioning. Documentation, if it is ordered to turn someone every 2 hours, then you need to document that you turned your patient every 2 hours, because that documentation is required. Okay, last but not least, this is for the nurses. When we are documenting our admission assessment, so, we're up here, we're hitting admission, it is required that we have this section, and it's under skin. It's called the 2 nurse skin assessment. We are required to complete this within 4 hours. So on admission, a full skin assessment must be completed by 2 RNs within 4 hours. The thing is, we're already doing this. You know that when we're going in and doing an admission assessment on somebody, that there's another nurse looking at the skin as well. We just need to document this option now. So documentation is located in the adult assessment flow sheet, and it's within that skin section. So you can document where there's an area of issue, but you also can complete it with no exceptions. So you can just say that it's good, there's no issues, perfect. The other nurse will come in and document that as well. Now, if you're the other nurse and you're like, okay, I don't really want to document on the flow sheets, there is the option that you can go to the notes section, and you can also add a note. So we're going to go ahead and make a nursing note. And then as a nurse, you type in .4, and that is going to be your 4 eyes assessment if you want that. So you go ahead and enter that. And it says, I've completed a focused pressure injury assessment with a primary RN, and note the following exceptions. Now, if there's no skin issues, what you can do is you can click this little star, and you can free text. You can type whatever you want in here. But there were the options that you can click. You can click the area that was the issue. So if you wanted to look at that again, we just go to new note, type in nursing, and then type in the .4. And if you look here, you can select the area that's the issue. So like say their ear has a pressure injury, or say their sacrum or their coccyx, you just click that, and then you can free text in here and say what was wrong with that area as well. So that's just a little bit of information for the Deaconess transition. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will try to be posting these almost on like a daily, every other day basis, where we have little like kind of flyers, newsletters that say, hey, this is something to point out that we don't have in our brain anymore. So I hope this helps you guys, and if you have any questions, like I said, please reach out to me or Rachel, and we can hopefully answer those for you.